Hi everybody! Oh. Hi everybody!
Off to a great start. Off to a great start.
It just said disconnect. So Sam and I have decided I'm going to come down to your height because otherwise it looks a bit silly. Sam and I have decided we're going to cook a Nadia Hussain chorizo fish stew with garlic bread. Yummy, 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 yummy. So join us, and you're going to see what a fantastic cook Sam is, and we're probably going to have a few disasters on the way, I would imagine, aren't we, as well, with being as I'm here.
Okay.
Right, so, ready, steady, cook! So, first thing I've got to do is I've got to put...
So let's go ahead and let's read you the recipe.
Oh, okay.
So we're using Nadia Hussain's Time to Eat book, which if you are a Great British Baking Show fan like I am, you know her because she is just absolutely one of the kindest and sweetest people ever. So we're going to be using her recipe in her book, which is on page 168. But look at that. That's what we're going to try to recreate. You will be the judges of that. So we're starting off with 5 tablespoons of vegetable oil, 230 grams of chorizo, crushed mustard, garlic, tomatoes, salt, tomato chili powder, some malt vinegar, fish, water, smoked salmon, and lots of parsley to garnish. So David's going to be over here doing most of the kind of main course, and then I'm actually going to be over to the side, so I'll pop out of frame, and I'm going to start making us the garlic bread, which, let me show you this bread that David made. So David bakes in addition to cooks, and he made this bread today. Look at that. Look at that bread. It is just absolutely gorgeous. So he made this fresh today, and he's like, oh, we'll have it with a fish stew. And I was like, David, it calls for garlic bread. He's like, oh, but Sam, wouldn't fresh bread be so much better? For those of you who are watching, please join me in the collective understanding that David is crazy. When a recipe calls for garlic bread, it's garlic bread. There is no substitute for good garlic bread. So we are going to, in David's eyes, debauch this fresh loaf, and we are going to turn it into garlic bread, which is with just some butter, some parsley, thyme, as well as obviously garlic. So we're going to have some fresh bread and some garlic bread along with it. So I'll be doing that over here.
So, frantically sorting out thank you, Sam, that's lovely, appreciate it. Hang on, I've lost a clove of... Oh no, I haven't. I thought I'd lost a clove of garlic.
When in doubt, add another one.
Indeed. Oh, Gemma's here. Gemma, one of our tutors, is here.
Oh, Gemma!
Hi, Gemma!
I hope you're feeling better.
Yeah, because poor Gemma, she's got COVID at the moment, so... Hi! Right, let's just throw this away. Yeah, keep that open, Sam. That's a good idea, actually. Then we can just throw bits away. Right, so what does it say? It says, now onto the stew. Put oil in the pan over medium heat. Add the chorizo. Right, so we've got to, let's just put this over here and you'll be able to see what I'm doing. So I've got my garlic's just here. Where did I put the chorizo? Sam, you've got the chorizo.
Do you want me to start cutting it, or do you want to?
It's alright, I'll do that. You grab the camera whenever you want it. Whenever you're doing something interesting, you grab it as well.
I just got a bad garlic clove, so
Oh,
I'm
dear.
going to go back in and grab a fresh one.
Good idea.
For those of you who do not know, garlic is a carminative. It is meant to stimulate digestion. It is also great for gas and bloating because it is a fire herb and it is stimulating to the stomach. But you need to be careful because long-term garlic exposure, clove-wise, will actually start to break down your fingernails.
Really?
Yeah. So interesting story about garlic, and specifically chopped garlic that you buy pre-chopped. So China is one of the largest imports of chopped garlic, and what they will do is they will have prisoners peel garlic. Prisoners peel garlic.
Okay.
But what happens is they peel the garlic for such an extended period of time, and they get the oils that break down tissue, which is normally really helpful to make things softer in a meal, to help with digestion. But long-term exposure to the skin, they actually start losing their fingernails.
Whoa.
Because the garlic is so eroding to the skin. So something to keep in mind is always wash your hands after garlic, not just for the smell, but also for this idea of making sure that the oils of the garlic don't linger too long. So anyway.
And of course, garlic, absolutely fabulous for circulation.
Yep, and specific to the heart.
Indeed. But also, guys, did you know? Here's one for the blokes. And the BBC discovered this. It's excellent for erectile dysfunction as well.
Oh, but why? Why?
Go on then, Sam. Tell everybody why.
So why is garlic good for erectile dysfunction and cardiovascular things in nature? So when we look at different herbs and their properties, we look to fire as the element of stimulation and circulation, right? So all things that are spicy, all things that are going to have a kick to it, ginger being one of those, but garlic being one of those as well. Garlic is one of those fiery herbs which will help to increase circulation, but you could use garlic for the same thing. You can also use roasted coffee with its caffeine properties, also for erectile dysfunction as well.
So I love my coffee.
Anything that has that fiery kick to it is said to stimulate circulation and also be very good for all cardiovascular conditions, including but not limited to erectile dysfunction.
Wow.
So David's just over there chopping the chorizo. I'm going to start chopping the garlic. For those of you who don't know how to break open garlic, basically you take it from the bulb and you just smash it really hard, and it almost becomes pre-chopped a little bit, so all you need to do is kind of go in there with a knife and break it up a little bit more. But the finer your garlic, the more the oils are going to spread, and that's what you really want in your recipe, is a nice diluted garlic taste. If it's too chunky, you're going to get those big pieces, and it's not going to be as pleasant to the palate. This is where you might also want to use a garlic paste instead of fresh garlic if you're lazy or you don't like garlic, the taste, the smell, the feel. I personally adore garlic.
Ditto. So, good news. The chorizo is in, and we're now going to just allow the spices to come out of that chorizo. It's going to be gorgeous. So let's just, what's the next thing asked for on the recipe?
Did you season the chorizo today?
Did I what, sorry?
Did you season the chorizo today?
Did I? No, I haven't seasoned the chorizo. It hardly needs seasoning, Sam. I'm going to put the camera back to Sam while I cheat and have a look at the recipe. So there we go, there's Sam chopping away like a madman.
So yesterday, and specifically for garlic bread, you want the garlic to be as thin as possible. Oh yeah, mustard seeds.
Seeds.
Oh, we need to grind those.
Do you want to grind them?
Oh, David's going to grind the seeds.
So we have mustard seeds and a pestle and mortar. I can't see, but I'll come over here. Double action there.
Double action. Chopping garlic and grinding mustard seeds. Oh, mustard, also of the fire element. Also good for circulation.
Yeah.
And now that my garlic is as fine as it's going to get before being obliterated, I'm going to start chopping up that parsley as well. If you want to destem your parsley, you totally can. It's fine, but the stem also has a lot of really great salty medicinal properties as well. So you don't want to ignore that. It just depends on if you're okay with a little bit of fiber, a little bit of texture.
Oh, Sam, this chorizo smells gorgeous.
David loves a good sausage. I thought that would get a laugh out of you.
Okay. Let's make the sausage even hotter.
And you want to go ahead with your parsley and use a technique called chiffonade, where you bundle the parsley as tightly as possible so that every cut cuts it multiple times instead of just cutting it loose.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, here we go. Oh dear, that didn't work very well. Okay, angle that down. There we go. There's our mustard seeds all nicely ground up now, and they're going to go in with our chorizo. So, I'm hoping you can see what I'm doing here. I don't know if you can. Yes, 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 you can. I'll tell you what, BBC Good Cooking or whatever, it's got nothing on us, has it, Sam?
No, not at all.
Absolutely. MasterChef, that's it, that's the one, isn't it? MasterChef.
There you go.
Oh,
They don't really have a comedy routine, do they?
Well, absolutely. They could learn a thing or two from us, couldn't they?
Could.
Now then, so what's after the mustard is going to be garlic. Okay. Unlike Sam, where did I put it?
The 5 cloves were on the tray.
No.
David, they were right in front of you.
No,
they were right in front of you.
I know they're in front of me,
Oh
but
my god. Oh my god. Blind as a bat, this one.
No. What I'm looking for is the garlic press.
Oh, you gave it to me.
Well, why?
It's right here.
What? Well, why didn't you use it?
Because I'm not a cheat.
Oh, that's not cheating. Look, cheap garlic. Never mind. Put that in. And the next one. Here we go. Let's just bring this back here, and then you guys can see what we're doing. Oh, I'll tell you what. If only Facebook Live
It smells so good.
could do smell.
So good.
More garlic. And even more garlic. 5 cloves. Asked for in the recipe. That's it. Right, that's that. Give that a nice little stir. And then when it's all golden, I do believe that's then when we're adding in the tomatoes, or as Sam would call them,
Tomatoes.
tomatoes. Right, so garlic, cook until golden, add the chopped tomatoes. That's it. So, tomatoes there. Add more. Oh dear, they're not chopped. Never mind, they're going to be soon when I give it all a good stir around. Sam's looking for something.
Yep, so what I'm going to do is pre-melt our butter to make it easier to spread on the garlic.
Fine.
So,
You're going to use the microwave?
Yep. So we're going to take the butter and we're going to actually put the garlic and parsley at the bottom so it doesn't burn.
Ooh!
But that it gives it a nice infusion while it
Right, well, I'll tell you what, let's just show everybody what you're doing. That
Yeah.
sounds excellent.
So what we're doing is we have our fresh chopped parsley and we have our garlic. We have about 4 tablespoons of fresh parsley and 2, well, it says 2, I use 3, of chopped garlic. And then we're also going to use a nice sprinkling of thyme on top of it for added flavor. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take 150 grams of butter, which looks like an egregious amount of butter, but it will melt down and it will soak into the bread very, very readily. And we just want to get enough softness to where we can spread that. And it doesn't look so lumpy. We don't want to melt it completely because that's also going to be really hard to spread on the bread. But we want to get it softened so that I can then stir and mix that up. But also the heat will activate the garlic because garlic has specific compounds in it that are only activated when they are warmed, which is another really big property of fire herbs. Often with your gingers, your turmerics, your corianders, your cumins, you're really going to want to baste them in oil to get them kind of semi-roasted so that you can activate a lot of their healing and medicinal properties, but also their flavor, which go hand in hand. So, forgive the lack of screen time, but I'm popping over to the microwave.
Let's try and see the screen with us.
Okay.
Here we go. Just, you just move it around whenever you want to. There we go. Now then, do you want me to just quickly do that one? Because you don't know this microwave, or
Yeah,
are you
go
okay
for
with
it.
it?
So
How's
just
that for?
just enough to make it soft. So maybe like 30 seconds.
Okay, 30 seconds. Oh, that's 10 minutes. Never mind.
That would be
Oh dear.
disastrous.
So,
Disastrous.
seconds. Where's 10 seconds gone? Here we go. 30 seconds.
Okay.
Start.
And then we're not using the oven at all.
We're not using the oven.
Okay, so can you preheat that to 160 C?
Yep, absolutely. 160. sorted. There we go.
Yeah.
Sam's favourite expression is, as he's learnt on the train station. Go on, Sam. You say it.
If you see something, say something. See it, say it, sorted.
Even with an English accent, fabulous.
Well,
right.
so when you're chaotically trying to travel from one area of the UK to another, and you're in that kind of vulnerable headspace of like, did I miss my train? Have I got my ticket? Is all my luggage? Did I leave all of my underwear at the hotel? You pick up on these things that are constantly playing in the background, and so I'll literally be just doing random chores around the house, and that tape will play in my head. See it, say it, sorted.
That's it. Right. Okay, so what's next? While Sam was chatting, I've put a teaspoon of garlic chili powder in, and we also want to put some malt vinegar in as well, and we want to put how much of that? Where's it gone? Where's it gone? Teaspoon, no, 5 tablespoons? Gosh, that's a lot.
Flavor, David, flavor.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go.
Vinegar is also one of those cooking items that we use to break things down. It is metabolizing. It is also in the element of fire because it is fermentation. So you're seeing we have a lot of these digestive, these combustive, these kind of solar plexus stimulating ingredients to combat a very heavy protein, which would be the oily fish and the dense chorizo. So you're always seeing that earth, that fats, that caloric density paired with something fiery to break it down, very flavorful and metabolizing, so that our body is kind of cued to get the enzymes ready for what would be a heavier meal. And a bread knife to get the...
That knife, that'll do.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Lovely. Just need to get to the fish.
Yeah.
It's alright, it's fine as it is, it's fine. It's all going to be going in there, isn't it, Sam?
Yeah,
So.
true. Well, get to the fish. And it's like, you don't really want to use a knife to chop the fish and then touch your bread, David.
Alright, I'll give you that knife back then.
Hi.
Ooh. Right, so that can go in there. Right, okay, I'm going to do the fish. So...
Oh, wait.
Wait. Oh, hang on, you want a bread knife for
Moment
that?
of truth. I asked you what knife to use, David, and you told me this one.
Oh.
But moment of truth.
All right.
Is David's bread, does it just look good, or is it good? Let's see. Oh, perfect. Look at those air pockets, nice and fluffy. I hope you can smell it through the internet.
Yep.
Absolutely gorgeous. But what we'll do is we'll then cut this into slices, and then we'll baste both sides, not just one side. Don't half-ass your garlic bread. Always need both sides. But this is also a rounder bread, so we're going to be cutting it in half to make sure that we get a good cut. So you wanted me to use a bread knife instead?
Oh yeah, please. Here we go.
Yeah.
So, here we go, Sam. Will that be okay?
Yep.
Lovely. Now, can I just quickly show the fish?
Yeah. Go.
Lovely. Okay, so what we have got here, we have got some cod loin, and we've got some bassa fillets as well. So I'm just going to cut these into large chunks, because what's going to happen is they're going to go in, and they're going to go in for about 20 minutes. So we don't need them to be mega small, and also we don't want them to fall apart either. We've also got some smoked salmon as well, which is going to be going in later, but that goes in right at the last minute. So let's just do these bassa fillets. So we've got a nice variety of different textures, different flavours, which makes for a gorgeous fish stew. Okay, so that's the bassa. Let's just do this one. Okay, once I've got the fish in, I can breathe a sigh of relief, because then I just put the lid on, and then it's all going to be down to Sam with his fabulous garlic bread. So here we go. Let's just turn that around, turn this around. Do you know what? It's great being a cameraman, film director, everything all at once. If this stew turns out okay, it'll be a miracle. So there we go. Fish is in. That's looking amazing. Smells gorgeous as well. So I'm going to put... Sam, are you ready? You're going to listen to this? We're going to season.
Oh, yay!
Oh, yay! So we've got some freshly ground black pepper. That's going in. Can't have too much pepper. Gorgeous stuff. And we've got some salt, of course, pink Himalayan salt, because it's lower in sodium, so that's better for you. There we go. Oh, I'm sure I'm going to put some tomato puree in as well. That's got to go in now, surely. Oh, yes, it does. How much puree? Oh, I'll tell you what. I'm going to put my normal amount in, and I'm just going to splurge it.
Uh-oh. He's changing the recipe, everybody.
Well, it's not like baking where it's literally is alchemy. It's got to be exactly the right amount.
Let it be known that this is where the recipe went terribly wrong.
Sam.
What?
You have no faith, have you?
No faith.
No faith.
None.
No.
Absolutely faithless.
Right. So, there we go. That can now do its stuff. I'm going to get the lid. Ooh. There we go. So we're now going to go back to Sam, and he can show you what he's doing with this fabulous garlic bread. In fact, I'm going to come around the other side, then we can get a bit closer. Oh! Ooh, that actually looks... So, looks like you know what you're doing.
Yeah. Not bad for looking at the recipe 15 minutes ago.
No.
Garlic bread is really simple, but you want to make sure that you get your portions right. So the one thing that you want to make sure is that you have enough bread for the actual amount of garlic butter that you make. But essentially you're just making an herbal infused garlic butter and then spreading it onto the different sides and then letting that sit while the oven is preheating. So you're getting this nice kind of glossy finish on the bread, letting it soak in. Especially with a spongier bread like this, you want to let it sit. You want to let that bread kind of bake itself into the garlic. So we've got a nice stack so that the drippings can kind of seep into and sponge into the other pieces.
Sam, you're making me hungry just talking about it like this.
Yeah. Food should be appetizing. One of the reasons why everybody should learn how to cook is that the very act of cooking stimulates digestion, and when we rush into a meal cold or we haven't prepared it ourselves, there's something about the body that just isn't ready to eat yet. But the whole idea of cooking and talking about food and smelling it along the way starts to stoke the digestive fire, which is actually a really helpful part of the process.
Ooh, Sam, I've just had an idea.
What?
Do you fancy something very English? It's a pre-dinner drink, being a...
Oh, goodness. David and his drinks. I swear to God, I've gained like 20 pounds over the past couple days with all the food and the drinks and the fra-la-la and...
Fra-la-la?
Flaming puddings and...
Oh, you're talking about last night. Sweet... yeah, okay. Okay, here we go.
He has to explain himself now.
I do. I just have to fess up on something. Last night, we introduced Sam to Christmas pudding. Mm-hmm. We got one left over from Christmas, and of course, it just had to be set on fire. So, yeah, this is what Sam is talking about with flaming puddings. So, there we go. So, anyway, have you heard of sherry?
Yeah. We use it all the time in cooking.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, do you not drink it?
Yeah, I mean, you can. But a lot of what we use is just cooking sherry.
Fine. Or would you just prefer to cook with wine?
Yeah, either one. It's fine.
Either one?
Yeah, doesn't bother me.
I'll tell you what then. Let's get you a pre-dinner sherry.
Now, why would you digestively want to have something sweet? While traditional Chinese medicine tells us that sweet is the taste that is associated with the stomach, so a aperitif or a pre-dinner cocktail is also stimulating to the digestion and will also somewhat include bitters, dandelion root extract, some Fentimans sodas as well are really good examples of a kind of classic aperitif, but so would sherry fall into that category as well. Just giving you that sweetness and telling your stomach, hey, we're about to get something that's coming down the hatch, maybe something that's a little bit heavier, so we need to prepare you with something fiery, something that gives your metabolism a little bit of a jump start so it's not caught off guard, and that is the aperitif.
There we go. So, here we go then. Of course, Harvey's Bristol cream, none better. So,
you know what's none better? You know what's none better? This. Look at that parsley, look at that garlic. It is absolutely fabulous. Emilio joined a little bit late and he's like, well, what's the dish? So we are making a fish stew with chorizo and garlic bread.
Right.
I forget I'm out of practice doing my lives, so I forget that everybody joins at different times. And they're like, so what the hell are you doing?
That's it. Tell me when you're ready, Sam.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, so we're going to get a live response. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers, Sam. Your good health. Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Can't beat sherry before a meal. Ah, yes.
Well, you shouldn't beat Sherry ever. I'm sure she did nothing wrong.
Not that. Never mind. Right, I'm going to start chopping up the smoked salmon.
Yep.
There's something else. Oh, yeah, the remaining parsley.
Mm-hmm.
Right, okay, I'm just going
I can do the parsley because I'm almost done with the garlic bread.
No, you're fine. You're fine because you've been doing all of that. I'm just going to clean this board down.
Also, the garlic bread is ready, so whenever you want to...
straight in. Let's go for it.
Well, so it only needs about 15 to 20 minutes.
Perfect.
Okay,
That's
perfect.
already on.
Excellent. So we need...
What are we putting it in?
I normally use tinfoil.
Well, here we go. I've got a non-stick pan here. Would that be okay?
Perfect.
Right. Look,
Okay.
don't touch it. It's come straight out the oven.
Okay. So we're going to place these. And remember, these are doused in garlic butter, so it's not like they could stick to a surface even if they tried.
Wow.
And you can, they've almost doubled in weight because of the...
You put so much in it.
Well,
now, if either of you, if any of you are coming to Leicester this weekend, coming to hear Sam and his teaching, or if you're going to London, was it 4th and 5th of March, I think
4th
it
and
is?
5th of March.
If Sam dares say that it's my cooking that he's put weight on, I mean, you should see these great big lumps of garlic bread, and they are heavy with garlic butter. They really are. So it's Sam's fault.
There's a little bit left over. Would you like to lick the bowl? It's not going to be as nice as like something sweet if we were baking, but
15 minutes?
15 to 20. So we'll check them at 15.
Well, that's perfect because that is 15 minutes as well. We're actually on time, Sam.
Lovely.
How did that happen?
One of the other things about a nice roasted garlic bread is if you want a crunchy crust on both sides, you want to be able to turn it halfway through.
Wow.
Tracy says, I think I'll need to wear a mask on Saturday with all that garlic. You're not wrong, Tracy. You're not wrong. But when in doubt, garlic. So how much of the parsley do we need?
Oh, just do the rest, Sam. That'd be lovely.
Okay. So again, we're going to practice our cheffonade. So we are going to take our parsley and we are going to bundle it tight. And the tighter that bundle, the easier it is to cut. That way you're making fewer cuts in a tighter area.
Oh, let's just hang on.
Now David wants to...
We've got to get the angle. Let's get the camera angle, and then people can see what you're doing.
See.
So here we go.
Yeah, so as you can see, as I'm cutting, it's just cutting through all the rows because I've bundled it so thin. And we want to take the rubber band out of there because nobody likes a rubber band in their parsley. How fine do we want to chop it?
Do it to your taste.
Okay.
How about that?
When you're considering an herb, especially a fresh herb, the tinier you make it, the more flavor is going to leak into the stew. So if you're doing something like a parsley garnish, you don't want it too thin because you don't want too much of that salt to go into the stew. You also want the leaves to be semi-whole for presentation because it looks nice against a red tomato stew. You want the nice fragrant leaves to kind of be present. And what I might even suggest to David is saving about 1/3 of these for a final garnish at the end.
Oh yeah.
Meanwhile, using 2/3 to actually season.
I'm absolutely up for that, Sam. Go for it.
That way, again, we have layers of flavor that we're building. So you'll get the fresh of the parsley, but then you'll also get some of the deeper saltiness of the cooked parsley as well. And we add that now?
No.
Okay.
Go right in at the last moment.
Oh, well, David, that's... Oh, well, yeah. Okay. How long would you cook it afterwards? Because if it's all going to be at the last moment, then...
Oh. Well, I'll tell you what, let's put some in 5 minutes before it's due, and then that's cooked through, and then we've got the stuff to sprinkle on the top. Okay, let's just get this chopping board dry.
Okay.
And then I can sort out the smoked salmon.
Sounds good.
I hope everybody's getting really hungry watching us cook this, because, in fact, you know what, we can now we can get rid of the recipe, because all it is now is just waiting for my kitchen timer to go bing, 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 and we're kind of ready. Okay, so here we go, let's do...
Oh, and just as a FYI, as people are kind of coming on and as David's about to do the salmon, we are cooking from Nadia Hussain's book, her fish and chorizo stew, which is just absolutely fabulous with a side of garlic bread. And that is, Sarah says, keeping the vampires away tonight. That is absolutely the intention.
Which Sarah was this?
It just says Sarah.
It just says Sarah.
Yep.
Okay. We have no idea who Sarah is then, have we?
Sarah.
Okay, Sarah. Whatever will be, will be. Oh, sorry, I'm going to really put people off by singing now, aren't I?
Oh, goodness.
I better stop, hadn't I? Right, let's go back down to the salmon. Here we go. Of course, good Scottish smoked salmon. Because, I mean, is there any other kind? Right, so we're going to cut this up. Sam, do you think you ought to... Do we need to do a quality control check?
Oh, no, I'm good. We had smoked salmon this morning.
Oh, we did. Yeah, we had scrambled egg and smoked salmon with avocado.
Mm-hmm. It was delicious.
We did.
And olive bread.
I'm just going to... Yes, going to quality control. Oh...
Glutton.
See, do you know, I'm not sure. I just need to...
Tax.
It's very good. Gorgeous.
So why you would use a smoked salmon instead of a regular salmon is to add additional layers of flavor.
Yes.
This is a stew. It needs to build layers of flavor. So if a recipe calls for salmon, you know, maybe getting a lemon and herb infused salmon or a smoked salmon, depending on your tastes, to really get a bolder profile so that you're not just kind of going with the basics, and that you also don't need to season as much because as you add these layers, it's going to create beauty in the stew. Oh, and David's just licking himself.
My fingers.
His fingers.
Gosh. Sam, you are so suggestive. You're even worse than me. Well, I have a bad reputation. Well, allegedly.
Allegedly. That is what a reputation means, David.
Ah, really? Okay, so...
Okay.
We've just got to wait for...
Waiting game.
Just over 5 minutes.
Okay.
And then the garlic bread should be ready.
Cool.
Smoked salmon can go in. And... Right, could you put that in the drawer of the fridge? That'd be great, thank you.
How are we going to spend the 5 minutes?
Do you know any dance routines?
No, I do not.
Oh. Are you only good at singing?
I am not.
Oh.
Do you want to tell them? Do you want to give them a little bit of a teaser of what we recorded today for the Wisdom Wednesdays?
Okay. So, next week's Wednesday's Reflexology Wisdom has actually already been filmed. Sam has discovered a free downloadable book. And this was written by Dr. William Fitzgerald. If you kind of remember your reflexology learning, teaching, when you were a student, you'll know that William Fitzgerald devised zone therapy. And he created this book. I've never seen it. I didn't even know it was still available. But because it's now that long since he's died, it's out of copyright. So people have been able to republish it without paying the royalties. And the amazing thing is, Sam is going to reveal where you can get it for free.
Yes.
And that we're not going to tell you.
Oh.
We're not going to tell you where it is, because you've got to wait until next Wednesday.
There you go. Myrtle is asking, what can will you use instead of smoked salmon if you were not allowed to use seafood? So there's an excellent culinary technique that I picked up a couple years ago. Most stores should have it. It's called liquid smoke. And it comes in a small vial. It is a little bit pricey, at least where I'm at in the US. But liquid smoke is essentially exactly like it sounds, liquid smoke. So you could take that liquid smoke and you could marinate a jackfruit, which has a very similar texture to chicken or fish.
What a great idea.
Yep. And you could substitute that one for one. That'll also give you kind of the pull-apartness of the salmon when it's cooked. That would be a really, really great substitute. Jackfruit, depending on if you get it canned, you need to be careful because that brine is an absolute killer. So you will need to marinate it overnight if you're going to infuse that jackfruit to make sure that it doesn't get that salinity. But otherwise, that would probably be the substitution that I would personally go for if I was cooking it. But I would also maybe put it in like a, if I really wanted to be fancy, I might marinate it in a teriyaki sauce with that rub overnight. Yeah, like, again, building layers of flavor. So the more you can really add through time, the better. What? Like 5 minutes?
5 minutes. Parsley in.
Oh, 5 minutes parsley in. Right, right. And then we can also check on the garlic bread. So we're going to, again, adding layers of flavor. Just open up the top and all.
I will.
Oh goodness, he has to touch the camera.
Yeah, gotta have the camera on the start. Here we go. So,
So check out that color. It's really, really nice. It's rich. It's red. You can get the steam, but you can still see the individual components. And then we're just going to splash the green in there, which is just absolutely gorgeous, making nice color in the soup, the stew. And then we'll kind of fold that in gently. For those of you who are familiar with Schitt's Creek, we are going to fold it in.
Schitt's Creek?
Fold it in. You haven't heard of that show?
No.
So it's actually a quite the hit on Netflix in America.
Okay.
But it features this very wealthy family, and as a joke,
who are called the Shits?
No.
Oh.
Let me finish.
Okay.
So it features this very wealthy family, and as a joke, as a terrible joke, one year the father buys his son this town called Schitt's Creek because the expression is. You're up a paddle in Schitt's Creek.
Yeah.
Up without a paddle in Schitt's Creek.
Yeah.
And so they thought nothing of it until one day the business partner of the father is exposed from money laundering. All of their assets are seized, and they have nothing to their name except this
Schitt's
city.
Creek. So they really are up.
So
Schitt's Creek.
They are,
right.
And that's the premise of the show: is they move to this town in the middle of nowhere with no amenities, starting over. Right. So it's fabulous. Let me go ahead and check the garlic bread. It does not have a good crust on it yet, so we're just going to leave it.
No, that's fine.
But it's starting to smell. Nice.
Smell is gorgeous.
Yeah, that's good.
Absolutely.
We are on the right track.
Now Mary has just said fantastic series. So Maybe it is in the UK. Mind you, of course, we've got no idea where this live is going, Sam.
Love Schitt's Creek. It's hilarious. Ruth says.
So
see, you're just behind the times, David. You just need to whip out Netflix and start.
I am. Well, yeah, but I don't have Netflix.
It might be on the app.
That app. That's true. That's true. But I am generally so behind the time anyway.
That's okay. When do we add in the salmon?
Watch on a loop.
When do you?
What? The
Watch
salmon.
When do we
putting
add
that in right at the last minute.
Okay.
I'm leaving the lid off just at the moment now, just so that we can get a bit of evaporation.
Yeah.
And
so leaving the lid on a soup will help it cook faster. But depending on what meat you put in the soup, it might also make something like fish, which needs to be a little bit softer, go very rigid. So you want to kind of leave the pot open to let some of the water boil off, but don't add the fish until the very last minute so it stays soft, because the smoked salmon that we have is pre-cooked.
yeah, it's hot. It's oh, here we go. Right,
There we
so in goes the salmon. Gorgeous salmon. Into the pot. And are we just putting the rest of that parsley on the top as a garnish then, are we, Sam? Right. Oh, now, I'll tell you what, I've just stirred it too fast. A load of that fish has just crumbled. But it's still going to taste great. Now, we need to test this. See how it tastes. So, let's just get Sam here. So, Sam, want to try it?
Sure. Oh goodness, you're
See
making
what
a
you
mess,
think?
David.
How does that taste? Does it need any more salt, pepper, or anything? Or is that nice? He's thinking.
The spice is excellent.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change it. It
Wouldn't
rolls
change
really
it?
nicely. Maybe a little bit of sugar.
Sugar.
Yeah. Just like not a lot, but just enough to take that initial bite off the soup. Because it is that tang of the tomato hits just a little bit too hard for me.
That'll be the vinegar.
The vinegar, right? Okay, so that's normally what we would use. We would use something sweet to counterbalance the sour of the vinegar. But the spices themselves are just absolutely immaculate.
So
I don't think
couple
more.
of teaspoons or just that? Would that be enough? Do you think?
Maybe a half of one.
Half of one?
Just a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, that's should be good.
Right, let's give that a good stir around.
Did you already taste it?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
So that's my.
Okay, so when you're ready, I mixed it all in. So when you're ready, you take your sample and we'll
just take my. Taking a sample that has all the wrong. Anyway, yeah.
I wasn't even thinking about that, David. That's your fault.
Can you get this? Who recipe book did you say it was? Nadia Hussain, the lady that won the Bake Off.
Nadia Hussain's Time to Eat on page 168.
Her
Her chorizo fish stew with garlic bread.
Yeah, that is beautiful. Oh, that is really, really nice. Okay, should we check the garlic bread?
Yes.
Ooh,
there we go.
Yeah, that's looking good.
Let's see. That is nice.
Yeah.
It is nice. We'll go ahead and just give them a little flipsy daisies.
Flipsy daisies?
Yep, flipsy daisies.
Is that a technical term?
It is. Because we want that crunch to develop evenly, and you can see that the pan has kind of singed it on the underneath, which is what we want in a good garlic bread.
And I better tell Nandina that dinner is nearly ready.
Yep.
Don't,
And
don't burn your fingers, Sam.
Yeah. That should maybe go in for another couple minutes, so by the time she comes downstairs, we should be fine.
Excellent.
Okay. Lovely.
So, that is it. So,
Thank you for coming.
Thank you very, very much for joining us. Oh, hi, Hayley. She's just down the road.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. And we've got the wrong camera angle because the light is behind us.
I know this lighting is absolutely terrible.
It
Please forgive.
Absolutely. So thank you for watching, and you can also, Hayley, don't worry. I know you're saying you just missed it, but you can watch it all on catch up. Bye.